Let's look into polynomial divisions. So first question, divide the polynomial p of x by polynomial g of x and find the quotient and remainder of each of the following. So how do we do this? Very simple. We know what is g of x, right? Now let's look into g of x is x squared minus 2, right? And we know what is p of x. It will become x cube minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 3. Here the order is correct. The order is based on the powers, right? So no problem here. So we need to get x cube. So I'll multiply with x first. So x square into x will become x cube. X into minus 2 will become minus 2x. So should I write it here? No, I should not be writing here. Where should I write? I should be writing in below 5x, right? Below 5x. So I'll write minus 2x. Perfect. Now let's subtract it. So what happens? The sign will change, right? So this will cancel out. Now what do we have? 5 minus 2. How much is that? 5 minus 2 or 5 plus 2? It will become 5 plus 2, right? So it will become 7x plus 7x. Okay. Now we have minus 3x square. Do not forget the minus. We have minus 3x square. Now we'll bring down the 3 down, right? Minus 3 down. Now we have this. Now what is the next number that I can use? I'll reuse minus 3, right? So when I use minus 3, it will become minus 3x square minus will become plus x, right? Okay, change the sign. Sign changes, right? Subtract. What are you left with? We are left with 7x minus 9, right? Minus 6 and minus 3 will become 9. So this is the remainder and this is the quotient. Very simple, right? You can write it down. Very easy it is. Try it out by yourself. All these questions first try it out by yourself. Then you can listen to the explanation. Okay, always try to do that. So here we go. The next question, we have x square plus 1 minus x. So what we need to check is we need to make sure these questions are in the correct order, right? So what is the correct order here? If I write x square plus 1 minus x, the order will be wrong. I should write x square minus x plus 1. Then what is inside? Inside we have x raised to 4. What is the next one that should be there? X raised to 3 should be there. Is x raised to 3 there? No. So how do I do it? I'll just write plus 0x raised to 3. Okay, always write like this. Okay, then what is the x square part? We have minus 3x square. What is the x part? We have plus 4x. What is the constant part? We have plus 5. Done. Now let's divide. Okay, so first I'll multiply with x square. If I multiply with x square, it will become x raised to 4. Now we have minus x cube, right? So we'll write minus x cube. Then we have x square into 1, which will become plus 1x square, or plus 1x square or plus x square. It's up to you whether you want to put the 1 or not. Now change the sign. So this will become minus, plus, minus, right? So your answer will become plus x cube, right? This will cancel out. Now what do we have? Minus x and minus 1. So always keep the 1. I would suggest always write that 1. Okay. So minus 3 plus 1. What is the answer? Minus 4. So minus 3 minus 1, not plus 1, minus 3 minus 1, which will become minus 4, right? So will become minus 4x square. Now bring down all the variables, bring it all down. Okay, now what do we have? We have x cube, right? How do we get x cube? What should I multiply with? I'll multiply with x. So when I multiply with x, it will become x cube minus x square, 1x square you can say, yes, and we have plus 1x, so 1x. Right, let's subtract it. But before subtracting, change the signs. Do not forget to change and put the opposite sign because we are subtracting. Now what do we have? 4 minus 4 plus 1. What is minus 4 plus 1? It will become minus 3. So minus 3x square, right? Very simple. It will become minus 3x square. Now 4 minus 1. How much is that? 4 minus 1 will become 3 plus 3. So plus 3x. Now we have plus 5. Now what is the next number that we'll take? We'll take minus 3, right? Minus 3 will take, so it will become minus 3x square minus will become plus 3x. Then we have minus and plus will become minus 3. Now change the signs. This will become plus, this will become minus. So this cancels out and this will also cancel out, right? Then this will become what? Plus, right? So 5 plus 3, 8. So 8 is your remainder and this is the quotient. What is the quotient? The quotient will be, what is quotient? Quotient will be, you can write like this. Quotient is x square plus x minus 3. What is your remainder? Your remainder is 8. Correct? Remainder is 8. Very simple. Okay. So that's how you have to do it. Let's try the next question. Same. So in this question we have minus x square and we have plus 2, correct? And what is inside? Let's write x raised to 4. What is the cube numbers? X cube is there? No, x cube is not there, but we have to write 0x cube, right? X square is there? No, x square is also not there, so you'll write 0x square. Now what is left? Minus 5x and plus 6, correct? You can also write it like this, so you can write the quotient on the right hand side, okay? So what is the first number? First number will be minus x square. Why minus x square? So I'll get plus x raised to 4. Then what do we have? Minus x square and 2, so it'll become minus 2x square, right? So it'll become minus 2x square. So I'll write it here, minus 2x square. Now we'll subtract. So what happens? This will become plus, this will become minus, right? This will cancel out. So what do we have? We have plus 2x square minus 5x plus 6. What is the next number that we need to take? So the next number we need to get 2x square, right? So I have to use minus 2 or plus 2. Very simple, we have to use minus 2, right? So only if I use minus 2 will it become plus 2x square, right? Perfect. So minus 2 into plus 2, what will it become? It will become minus 4, right? Minus 4. Now change the sign. This will become plus, this will become minus. Now this will cancel out. We'll have minus 5x. We have 6 plus 4. How much is 6 plus 4? 10. So this is our remainder, right? So this is the remainder and this is the quotient. Very simple. Please write down this is the quotient is minus x square minus 2, right? And so on, right? And you have to write the remainder is minus 5x plus 10, okay? So please make sure you guys do that. The next question we have, how to check factors by division. So we learned division. When is it a factor? Very simple, when the remainder is 0, correct now? So when the remainder is 0, it is a factor. So we'll just divide and we'll check whether it is a factor or not, right? So I'll write t square minus 3. So we have t square minus 3. Let's see what's inside. We have 2t raised to 4 plus 3t cube minus 2t square minus 9t minus 12. Correct? Now what is the first number that we will take? We'll take 2t square, right? So 2t square if I take, it will become 2t square if I take, it will become 2t raised to 4. Then we have minus 3. So minus 3 into 2 is minus 6t. Minus 6t square, right? This is what we get. Subtract it. So this will become, sign will change, it will become minus and this will become plus. So 6 minus 2 will become 4. So 4t square here, right? We also have a 3t cube here, correct? We have a 3t cube here. So 3t cube plus 4t square minus 9t. Then we have minus 12, correct? So these are the numbers we have. Now what should I multiply next? I have to multiply with 3t, correct? So if I multiply with 3t, the quotient will have 3t. What will I get? So it'll become 3t. Okay, it'll become 3t raised to 3, right? Okay, then yes, 3t into t square is 3 raised to 3. Then we have minus 9t, right? Minus 9t. So sign changes, this will come plus. Perfect. We'll subtract it. So once we subtract it, what do we get? This 3t and 3t cube will go, right? Then what is left? We have 4t square and we have minus 12. Now what do? We can multiply with what? We can multiply with 4, right? So if I multiply with 4, what do I get? I'll get 4t square minus 12. So these will cancel out, right? This will cancel out. This is minus, this is plus. Once subtracted, it'll become 0. Once the remainder is 0, the quotient is what? Is a factor, right? So quotient will be a factor. So what is the logic here? Very simple. Okay, so we got the factor, right? So what can we state here? What do we state here? I got the answer. Now what do we state here? Very simple logic. Is it a factor or not? Yes, it is a factor. Why? Because 2t raised to 4 plus 3t raised to 3 minus 2t square minus 9t minus 12. This is equal to what? P of x. Okay. Now what is g of x? I can say g of x is t square minus 3, right? So what can I write? I can write p of x is equal to g of x into what? Let's say k of x. The quotient is k of x. Oh, q of x. Q of x is better, right? Quotient. So q of x. So what is q of x? We found it to be 2t raised to 2 plus 3t plus 4, right? Okay. So this is my quotient. So I can write g of x into q of x. So q of x is a factor, right? G of x is a factor, right? So that is the logic here. Got it? So we can easily find whether it is a factor or not by looking and checking whether the remainder is 0. If the remainder is 0, it is a factor. Very simple, right? Okay. Now what about the next? Check whether the first polynomial is a factor of the second polynomial. So if it is completely divisible, right, the quotient will be a factor. This number will also be a factor. So let's try to check whether it is completely divisible or not. So we have x square plus 3x plus 1, right? We are dividing with 3x raised to 4 plus 5x cube minus 7x square plus 2x plus 2, right? Okay. Now let's see what all are the numbers. So I can try with 3, right? 3 what? 3x square, right? So if I try with 3x square, it will become 3x raised to 4, right? Then I have 3x square into 3x, so that will become 9x cube. Then what do we have? Plus 3x square, right? Change sign. So what do we get? We'll get minus 4x cube and we'll have minus 10x square. Bring down all the numbers. We have 2x and we have plus 2. Very simple. Now let's see what happens. Now we'll multiply with what? We'll multiply with minus 4x. Okay. So when we multiply with minus 4x, it will become minus 4x cube and we have minus 12x square. Then we have minus 4x. Subtract. What do we get? Change sign. Do not forget to change sign. So this will cancel out, right? So it will become what? It will become 2x square. Why? Because plus 12 minus 10. So it is 2x square. Okay. Then we have plus 4 and plus 2 will become plus 6x plus 2. Okay. Now what is left? We have one more number. So it is 2, right? Plus 2. So 2 into x square will become 2x square. 2 into 3x will become 6x. 2 into 1 will become 2, right? So what is the answer? 0. Subtract it will become 0. So we have it. We got it, right? Is this a factor? Yes, it is a factor, right? What is the reason? Very simple reason. Because it is completely divisible, right? The factor, the polynomial is completely divisible, right? Polynomial. So you can say polynomial p of x is completely divisible. So you have to state what is p of x, okay? Completely divisible by g of x, right? So that is what you can say. Or you can say, you can show it like we showed in the previous question. You can show that as well. Because what? Because the remainder is 0. If it is the remainder is 0, it is completely divisible. Very simple, okay? All right. Let's see the next question. So we have x cube minus 3x plus 1 and we have x raised to 5 minus 4x cube plus x square plus 3x plus 1. Be very careful, it is x raised to 5. So there is no fourth term. Correct now? So there is no fourth term in the first one also, right? Correct? There is no x square in the first one. So you have to be very careful, but we'll try it out without giving the space. Okay, I do not suggest doing that like that, but let's try it out like that. Okay, so we have this and we have x raised to 5 minus 4x cube. I did not write here, okay? I have to write plus 0 x raised to 4, okay? Without that, I'm going to try it out, okay? So we have next one, we have plus x square, but the order should be correct. Otherwise, it's going to be even more hard, okay? So the order should be correct. The order should be the order of the power. Now we'll multiply with what? We'll multiply with x square. Let's see what happens. So if I multiply with x square, this will become x raised to 5. Then we have minus 3x cube. Where is that? That'll be here, minus 3x cube. All right. Now what is the next one? X square in, then x square into 1, right? So we'll have plus x square. Now we'll subtract it. We have minus sign here. This will become plus. This will become minus. Subtract it. What will you get? You'll get the answer as minus x cube, right? This will cancel. This will also cancel. We have plus 3x plus 1, right? Now what do I multiply with? I'll multiply with minus 1. So what happens? It'll become minus x cube plus 3x and we have plus or minus 1. Is it plus 1 or minus 1? Be very careful. It is minus 1. You might feel like it is correct and you might write the same answer, but don't do that. Be very careful. Okay, minus 1 and plus 1 become minus 1. Now cancel it out. What happens? This will become plus, this will become minus, this will become plus, right? So this will cancel, this will cancel. What's your final answer? 2. So the remainder is 2. Is it divisible? No. Remainder is not 0. Remainder is not equal to 0. If remainder is not 0, I can say x cube minus 3x plus 1, right? Or you can write this is equal to g of x, then say g of x is not a factor. We can directly write is not a factor of what? Not a factor of x raised to 5 minus 4x cube plus 3x plus 1. So you have to state that, okay? Alright, so now let's see finding unknown zeros. How do you find unknown zeros? That is also important, to find unknown zeros. So let's look into see and how to find unknown zeros. Suppose we know 2 zeros. 2 zeros are known to us, correct? So if we know 2 zeros, how do you find the other 0? So we have this as a 0. So what is my factor? If we have the 0, we have done a similar question in the previous exercises and examples. So how do I find the factor here? If a is a 0, if a is 0, what do we know? X minus a is factor. That's how we find the 0 now. We write, okay, we write it in groups. Then from that group we understand, okay, left hand side, if I put x is equal to something, then the value becomes 0. So that's how we find. So x minus a is what? X minus a is a factor, right? So this is what? Factor theorem, correct? This was factor theorem which we learned in 9th grade, correct? So this logic we have to apply. All right. So what is the factor? So if root of 5 by 3 is there, what is my factor? My factor will be x minus root of 5 by 3. One factor. What is my other factor? My other factor will become x minus root 5 by 3, right? So what will that become? That will become x plus root 5 by 3, right? X plus root 5 by 3. So these are my two factors. These are my two factors. So if these two are my factors, what can we further say? So this is the whole, okay? It's not just 5, it's the complete root. I thought it was just 5. It's not just 5, it's the complete root. So I'll just correct it. Be careful, it is a complete root. So we have minus root of 5 by 3. Okay, so these are the two factors. Now let's multiply this. So we can say a plus b into a minus b is what? A square minus b square. Correct? This is what we have. So we can further write it as 3x square minus 5 and all, but we'll keep it as it is. Okay, we'll see how to do it. Now this is one of the factors. Okay, how many more factors do we need to find? So we have two factors. This is 4. The degree is 4. Degree is 4 means what? How many factors are there? Or how many zeros are there? There are 4 zeros. So there are 4 factors. Correct? Very simple. How many factors are there? 4 factors are there. So let's try to do this question. So we have one of the factors. We'll do division now. Correct? We'll do division. So let's try to divide and check. So if we divide and check, let's see what happens. So if I divide, it will become what? X square minus 5 by 3, and we'll keep it like this. Here we go. We have 3x raised to 4 plus 6x cube minus 2x square minus 10x minus 5. Okay, so we'll try to find it. So we have the first, we'll multiply with 3x square. So what do we have? 3x square into x square will become 3x raised to 4. 3x square into minus 5. What will happen? 3 will cancel, become minus 5x square. So what is where is minus 5x square? Here. Now what happens? Change the sign. Always don't forget to change the sign. Cancels out. What do we have? 5 minus 2. How much is that? 3x square. Then we have 6x cube, right? And we have minus 10 and we have minus 5. So these are the numbers. Now what is the next number that I'll take? I'll take 6x, because 6x into x square will become 6x cube. Perfect. Now 6x into minus 5 by 3 will become 3 and 6 will cancel, become 2. So minus 10x. Alright. So let's cancel it out. What do we get? This will become plus. This will become minus. They both will cancel. What are you left with? We are left with minus 3x square minus 5. So what is the last number? The last number we'll use is 3. So we have, it's plus 3 or minus 3? I'll use minus 3, right? Or plus 3? I'll use plus 3. So if I'm using plus 3, let me just check. Yes, this was plus, right? Let me just check. 5 minus 2. Yeah, it is plus. So it will become plus. See, you can actually find out. I was not able to get the answer. Why? Because when I'm subtracting, I am not getting perfectly by the same number, right? The same number should be there, so you subtract and it becomes 0. But since I'm not getting the same number, I'm able to find out my mistakes. So 2 and plus 5, minus 2 and plus 5. So 5 minus 2, it was plus 3. Okay, that was the small mistake. So what happens? The full thing will go wrong, right? So when you're getting the remainder, you can easily identify, okay, it was plus 3, 3x square, right? Then it'll become minus 5. So I was not getting this minus 5. If I take minus 3 there, it'll become plus 5. So it's not becoming remainder 0. So you have to cross check back where you made your mistake. Okay, that is one of the tricks. Now what happens? It'll become 0, right? So what is your answer? Your answer is 3x square plus 6x plus 3 is a factor. Okay, this is a factor. We understood? This is a factor. So what can be done here? We can take 3 common outside. I'll equate it to 0. Okay, we'll take 3 common outside. Okay, we have x square plus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. I'll take the 3 on to the other side. It will become x square plus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay, now what will we do? We'll do splitting the middle term, right? Or you can do identity. What identity is this? This is x plus 1 the whole square, right? A square plus 2ab plus b square, right? So what is this? This will become x plus 1 into x plus 1 is equal to 0, correct? Yes. So that implies x is what? X is equal to minus 1 and x is equal to plus 1. So these are our zeros. What are the remaining zeros? All zeros will be, our zeros are zeros of p of x. So you can write, if you want, you can write this is equal to p of x, okay? P of x is equal to 3x raised to 4. So instead of repeating this, you can always write p of x is equal to 3x raised to 4, 6x cube, minus 2x square, minus 10x, minus 5. Then you can write in the last statement what? You can write and say the zeros of p of x are, zeros of p of x are, what are they? We have the zeros we already know, root of 5 by 3, minus root of 5 by 3. Then we have 1 and we have minus 1, plus 1 and minus 1. These are the zeros. Now my question arises, just an additional thought, what are the other factors? So we got the previous 2 factors from this. So the other 2 factors will be x plus 1 and x minus 1, right? In case they ask the factors, you can clearly say the other 2 factors are x plus 1 and x minus 1. Simple. That's how you do it. And that's how most of the questions will be. Okay, so next one we'll do division algorithm, right? So what is division algorithm? We have learned in our smaller grades as well, right? But this topic is not there. It's skipped for you guys, okay? But it's good to know, okay? For MCQ and previous like Olympiads and such, it's good to know. P of x is what? Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder, right? So same logic, okay? Dividend is what? P of x. Divisor is g of x into quotient is what? Q of x. Remainder is what? R of x. Simple. So we know what is R of x here. What is R of x? Minus 2x plus 4. This is R of x, okay? What is Q of x? Q of x is x minus 2, okay? What is P of x? That also we know. What is P of x? P of x is x cube minus 3x square plus x plus 2, right? So we'll take this part, right? We'll take this part and move it to the left hand side. So what do we have? We have x cube minus 3x square plus x plus 2 minus 2x plus 4, right? That is equal to what? That is equal to g of x into q of x, which is x minus 2, correct? Now what happens? When you open the bracket, it will become plus here, right? So it will become x cube minus 3x square plus what? X plus 2x is 3x. So plus 3x, right? Then we have 2 and minus 4. 2 and minus 4 will become minus 2, which is equal to g of x into x minus 2, right? Now what happens? What is g of x? G of x is equal to, that is p of this value, x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 2 divided by x minus 2. Now how do we find this? We have to find this by long division. So let's do this, okay? So keep the numbers, write it down. We'll try this by long division. So let's try this by long division. Here we go. Again, repeating, this question is not there. It's for the Olympiads and such. Please understand how to do it, okay? So we have x minus 2 and we have the numbers, that is x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 2, okay? So what is the first number that we'll take? We'll take x square, right? So x square will become x cube minus 2x square. So this will become plus and this will become minus. Subtract will become minus 3 plus 2. How much is that? Minus x square. So minus x square plus 3x minus 2 we have. So what do we multiply with? We'll multiply with minus 1, right? Is it minus 1 or minus x? Minus x, right? So it'll become minus x square, and we have minus 2x. So what happens to the answer? This will become plus, this will become plus, this will cancel. We'll have 5x. Is it 5x? No, it is. Did I make any error? Let me just check. Yes, I made an error. What is the error? This sign is wrong, right? This sign is wrong. So we have to write this will become plus 3x. Let me just correct it. Yes, so it will become plus 3x and minus 2. Now what do? We multiply with minus x with minus 2. So it will become plus 2x. That was the mistake, okay? It was minus there. It was plus 2x. So subtract it. What happens? It will become x minus 2, okay? Now we got x minus 2. Now how do we do? Very simple. What is the last number? That will be 1. So 1 into x, it will become x. 1 into minus 2, it will become minus 2. Your answer is 0. So what is g of x? So we got g of x. G of x is what? G of x is equal to x square minus x plus 1. That is the answer. Okay, this is division algorithm, just for understanding. Okay, all right. So try out the case-based questions and the quiz questions after this.